3:30 and AM 950 WWJ as Minnesota upset Purdue 75-73. Meanwhile, Cassius Winston yesterday afternoon led Michigan State with 18 points. He led them to a 77-70 win over Ohio State. MSU getting Wisconsin today. Wisconsin beating Nebraska 66-62. Pistons beat a LeBron James-less LA Lakers team 111-97. James sent out due to load management. Andre Drummond led them with 19 and 23 for Detroit. Pistons now the 6th seed in the East, percentage points ahead of Brooklyn. Red Wing hockey today right here on 97 won the ticket at the LCA against the Islanders. They'll drop the puck at 1 p.m. Wings yesterday recalled defenseman Brian Lashoff from Grand Rapids. Philip Zadina was sent to Grand Rapids. Number 1, Virginia falling in the conference tournament in the ACC to Florida State 69-59. It was Duke edging North Carolina 74-73. At the Ticket Update Desk, I'm Jeff Lesson. For more, 9701theticket.com.
The following is a paid program. The views expressed on this program are not necessarily those of Entercom Communications, its sponsors, or affiliates.
All right, a little rock and roll there from Kiss. Welcome to the Hardcore Mortgage Show. Good morning, everybody. I'm Harvey Freed. Hey, Harry, what's going on?
Hey, I got to tell you something.
A little different start to our show here.
Roberto went on the air yesterday, and he said Kiss is the greatest rock and roll band of all time. How do you deny that? I mean, come on. Rock and roll all day.
Of course, Roberto, one of the biggest fans out there. Hey, we have a jam-packed good morning for you. Great show. We got set up for March 16, 2019. I'm Harvey Freed. He's Harry Glantz.
Morning.
We even brought in Julie Sammons from the office. Hey, Julie.
Good morning, Harvey. How are you doing?
Julie, who are these fine folks from Willow Realty Group that you brought in, if you want to introduce them?
Thank you. We have the broker-owner, Roseanne Cuvier, and we also have Lou Kalura.
All right. Hey, Lou and Roseanne, what's going on, guys?
Hey, how you doing?
Fantastic. Of course, we are brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. That's where you can call our office all week long, get that strong approval letter at 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. Always taking your calls here live in the studio at 248-539-9797. And you guys have a whole lot of great news for us. Of course, you sort of represent a unique part of southeast Michigan. I like it. It's not just the downriver area, because you guys are really sort of Brownstown, Rockwood, Frenchtown, Monroe, all those areas. Temperance, Bedford, all those areas.
Absolutely.
What did I miss? Carlton, I know there's a few other ones you guys are experts on.
We're
Flat Rock,
Huron Township, Brownstown, Rockwood.
That's where you guys live too, right?
We actually live in Lambertville, so we live in Bedford Township, and we specialize in all of southeastern Michigan.
That's great. Of course, we always take your calls here in the studio, 248-539-9797. Try to make it really fun this morning. Julie Sammons makes home ownership really fun. Julie, I always enjoy you in the office. I know your clients must enjoy the constant fun smile on your face and how you make everything sort of light, because when you're buying a house, there's so many things going on. There's a lot of pressures, a lot of emotions. It's nice to have someone that'll answer the phone and really ease you back down and sort of make light of everything and make it fun to be a homeowner.
Agree with you 100%. And one of the positive things, as far as when your phone is ringing, you definitely have to answer the phone. That's one of the things that I get as far as a lot of feedback. Answering that phone, picking it up when it does ring, and then going the extra mile for your clients.
It's always a great thing. Hey, Roseanne, there's no doubt what's going on down there with the inventory. We want to hear from the experts. Of course, home buying season sort of already kicked off. Officially, I guess it kicks off on Wednesday, of course, the start of spring. But how is the inventory looking in your neck of the woods? Again, every region's a little bit different. Could you talk to us a little bit about what you're seeing so far, if the listings are starting to pick up, and what's the competition look like?
Sure. Our inventory is still remaining a little low, so that means there's great competition with buyers right now. We do anticipate it picking up in the beginning of April. Right now, like I said, the competition is pretty great in southeastern Michigan. We're at still a pretty limited supply, which is a very good thing for sellers, because sellers are now back to getting pretty much top dollar, multiple offer situations on every home. And if you're a buyer, you want to make sure you're definitely qualified and ready to go with Capital Mortgage Funding, because the ones that are losing out are the ones that are not qualified and not ready to go. So there's a lot of competition in Southeast Michigan right now.
So, Roseanne, we come on here every week, and we were on here, obviously, we're broadcasting 46 weeks of the year. We take off a few weeks for some holidays here and there. Last part of December, very slow. Moving into the middle part of January, It slowed down. My belief is it's the way the holidays fell. on a Tuesday. You had people taking 2 weeks off instead of the normal week off. And then, boom, you hit the middle of January, and it's been crazy ever since. And
Yes.
you made mention directly the fact of the low inventory. We're seeing right now the purchase agreements are coming in hot and heavy. Like you said, multiple offers. You have to get with Julie and get pre-approved. You, as realtors, are not going to go in and make an offer without a pre-approval letter, correct?
That is absolutely correct. Yep.
One of the things that I want to speak of too is I know I want you to kind of touch on, Roseanne, is I know with the market increasing and the property values going up, can you talk a little bit about when there's highest and best offers coming in? What is your perception as far as being a listing agent and going in with the highest and best offers? Just touch on that a little bit.
Well,
please.
the best advice I can give as a listing agent for 21 years in the business is when you are a buyer's agent writing an offer and presenting an offer to the listing agent, it's very important to have all of your documents in a row. We just recently had a situation where we had 5 offers on a property, and one of them was actually a cash offer, and 2 out of the 5 did not present proof of funds or a pre-approval letter. Well, in a highest and best situation where you have a deadline for the offer, we're going to take it to the table what we have. And an incomplete offer usually does not even get looked at because the buyer's not ready to go. And we have 3 other buyers who are completely ready to go and pre-approved.
Yeah, you're usually calling right away on those pre-approval
Absolutely.
letters. You're calling the lenders to say, look, how far are you into this pre-approval process? Because you and I both know, after all these years, there are different pre-approvals out there.
Oh,
Some of them are just
absolutely,
pieces of
yes.
paper. They haven't
Yes.
even turned in their documents. So you have to ask those tougher questions because you're representing the sellers. And, of course, you don't want to waste 30 days and
We
take the house
really
off the
do.
market.
Right. So
We
Roseanne,
really
for,
do.
for everybody out there, highest and best, it's really the key is the best, because you're not necessarily going with the highest price.
Right.
Because if it doesn't have a backup, if somebody wants to move in 30 days, your seller might not be ready to move for 60 days.
That is right.
And
Yep.
then if you give terms on maybe there's and I'm just saying this, maybe there's a no rent back situation. Maybe there's more flexibility with one offer than another offer. It's not necessarily when people, and that's in our real estate industry, and doing this for a very long time and having a real estate license for 40 years. Look at highest and best means everything encompassing in that offer, not necessarily the highest price, because the highest price could be the worst terms.
Correct.
I agree 100%. Really the financing is the most integral part of our offer situation.
Yeah, still with 90% of the families out there are using financing mortgages, of course, to
Yep.
purchase residential real estate. That's the key. Make sure you get your ducks in a row. Hey, there's no doubt. We run into a lot of families, too, Lou, and you see this. Well, they want to buy that new house. They want to step up, Lou, but they haven't sold their existing house. So we have to take that and break down all the numbers and find out, do they qualify without selling that existing house? It takes a lot of pressure off of them.
Yeah, but a lot of times most of the people have to sell their house, and that makes it a little difficult. And we try to get them to sell their house or get their house on the market while they're looking, so that way there's no hold up when the time comes.
They can always accept an offer. I think some of the things that families don't know, Roseanne and Lou, is, one of the things as a listing agent, you can accept the offer, but you can put a contingency on there that it gives an
Right.
opportunity for the other people to find a house or them to find a house. So there's some contingencies that can put in there that makes everything run a little bit smoother. And mostly the question we ask often is, how many days on the market typically would your house be on the market for? And if the answer in this competitive market is only 1 or 2 weeks, then usually they can move forward as long as they're strongly
Right.
approved. And maybe again, they do qualify without selling their existing house. That makes it that much easier.
It sure does.
I think everybody's got to get the facts straight. There are so many metrics now that Lou can pull for people. I mean, he's going to go on the multi-list. He's going to say the average sale in this area is 26 days. We can go ahead and supply the information and tell everybody mortgage rates today, as we sit here today, are lower than they were last year.
Correct.
Okay. Now, what's for the future? We can't go ahead and tell you what mortgage rates are going to be in the future, but I'm going to tell you they're not going to be lower. They're going to be higher. All right. If you look out a 3, 4, 5 year plan, again, we said it when rates were at 3.5, rates aren't going down to 0. They're in the mid 4s right now, but they were in the low 5s last year at this time. So there are certain things. The market, here's what we do know. Talk about fact-based situations. We do know multiple offers. We do know property values are steady or increasing in a lot of areas, and we know mortgage rates right this second are stable. So if you're going to put in an offer, you should get pre-approved. You got to get that done. And no realtor is going to go into an offer without a pre-approval.
Yeah, that's always the case. 248-539-9797. Definitely want to hear your situations. If you're buying or selling, definitely give us a phone call here in the studio, and we'll get you set up the right way. There's no doubt when families go out, they say, Harvey, I just want to go look. Every time they fall in love with the house, so we sort of tell them.
Never fails.
Yeah, don't go out there and look unless you're ready to move forward, because if you do fall in love, and what happens is, I'm guessing they instantly start painting this mental picture of their family in this house, and of course, that room's going to work out for my daughter, and the dog's got the little doggy door, whatever it is. They start painting this mental picture. That's a strong emotion to come off of. So that's why we urge you, again, find out if you can qualify and close on a house. Again, you might just have enough money in your 401k or maybe 5% down that you can use, and then always come back after you sell your house and put more money down. We'll talk about all this and a whole lot more. 248-539-9797. We'll be back with your calls. Welcome back to the show. There we are. 9:15. If you're just joining us, it's the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding.
You almost missed your interlude talking about donuts, Hardy.
We're talking about donuts. Anyways, we're talking about actually meeting people across the country. And again, we're going to be talking about second homes. And a little bit of conversation came up about I was down in Florida, and sure enough, a couple of neighbors started coming my way here. And the one guy made the donuts at one of the local cider mills. It's called Parmentiers. Is that what the one in Northville? Okay. And I'm like, what? You're famous. And here he was down there. Yeah, great place, great place. Anyways, we're going to take all your calls here, 248-539-9797. In fact, we'll go to our first call today. We've got Larry calling in from a cell phone, if we get that. There we go. Hey, Larry, good morning. Welcome to our show.
Good morning. How are you today?
Real good. What's happening?
We was just listening to the show, and we're curious on home inspections because my son bought a flip house in Columbus, and the realtors, it's required by the realtor. And the inspector missed about everything he could miss, from a leaky sump pump to leaky plumbing to light switches with nothing at the other end of them. Is there any way to go back on the realtor inspector? My son's had thousands of dollars in repairs on things that any inspector would have caught. How do you know do you have to hire your own or rely on the realtor? What do you do?
Well, on an inspection, that's up to you to get the inspection. And you can't really go back on the realtor. Now, what I would ask you when you entered the purchase agreement, was there a seller's disclosure stating anything wrong with the property? So it's all about disclosure on that. That's number one. Number two is that I'm not an attorney. I don't play well on the radio. Here's the however. It's up to you to go ahead and hire an independent inspector. That's on you. So let's just say in this example, you hired the inspector. The inspector is your guy. He's on your team, and he's working on behalf of you. He goes in that house, and he doesn't find anything, in his opinion, doesn't write in his report. And guess what? You've had all these faulty things go on in the property. Now, again, all my attorney friends out there, please call me up, and let's advise this guy properly. That's between you and your independent inspector. The realtor has nothing to do with it. I mean, if the seller didn't disclose, that's another story. Now you could go back to the seller. But again, I want to open it up to all of our real estate attorney friends, and I would tell you that it's all about disclosure. The seller's got to disclose on the seller's disclosure, but if you're hiring that independent inspector, that's between you and the inspector.
But Larry, go ahead, Larry.
In this instance, my son.
Come to Dynavite for help. Order a 90-day supply of Dynavite. Pick up 2 bottles of Lico Chops, get the 3rd bottle free. New improved Lico Chops with omega-6, omega-3, vitamin E, and now 6 extra direct-fed microbials. Even better for the digestive tract and immune system. And dogs love it. Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free. This is Henry Lukasevic for Dynavite.
DINOVITE.com. Northville.com.
Don't let March Madness lead to haircut madness. Get to Lady Jane's in Northville and ask for the King's treatment. It's a precision haircut, relaxing scalp, neck, and shoulder massage, hot towel treatment, and hot leather neck shave. Lady Jane's in Northville on Haggerty Road across from Costco. It's wicked awesome.
Are you tired of paying high fees and commissions even when you lose your money? How'd you like to never lose your money again due to market risk? Join Joe Uplegger for the Safe Money and Income radio show right here on The Ticket, Sunday mornings from 7 to 8. The only way you can take 97.1 The Ticket with you is the radio.com app. Download it today and listen to us anytime, anywhere.
97.1 The Ticket.
Welcome back to the show, 9:16. If you're just joining us, would you believe it? March 16, 2019. That's the sun shining behind us.
Having that cookout, Harvey. What do you think? We're having that potluck.
We got to do it.
20th first day of spring.
Spring is in the air, no doubt.
It cannot come fast.
A lot of basketball, too, Harry, which is exciting stuff. I know we got Michigan State ball playing Wisconsin. They say Michigan, Minnesota. I didn't even catch that one.
Minnesota. Yeah, Minnesota beat Purdue last night. I don't know if you watched that. Good for them.
Good, exciting stuff.
Oh, but the Duke North Carolina game
that was
great.
Crazy game right down to the end.
Oh, yeah.
So definitely keep it here. We're going to have sports following. We got Pat Caputo coming up right after us at 10 o'clock. But for now, the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Show. And again, we take all your calls at 248-539-9797. Definitely want to hear from you. Roseanne, a couple things. I know that you're involved. Your son's a first responder, and he's a fireman down in the area that you guys work. And we reach out. Go ahead and tell us a little bit about those areas, because we have some special discounts, too.
Yeah, my son, who happens to also be an agent on my team, he's a first responder in Rockwood. And, these men and women who do this, especially in areas like Rockwood, Flat Rock, Gibraltar, Brownstown, they're all mutual aid, so they all work together. And, these men and women in Rockwood especially, they're on-call volunteers. So they work very hard in addition to having full-time jobs as well. And they're dedicated, and they maintain being very busy down there. So I'd just like to give a shout out to those first responders.
Yeah, no doubt.
And
keep working hard, guys. And
absolutely.
It's a reminder to me to tell all our folks out there listening, hey, take it easy. We got Ubers and Lyft out there.
Yep.
Hand those keys over if you're going to hit the booze a little bit, because I definitely keep these hardworking guys less hardworking.
Well, if you really put it in perspective, Harvey, while we're running away from a scene, they're running into the scene.
They really are.
So if you take a look at it that way, you know what? We just give our thanks to them and let them do what they do. Thank you.
All righty. Again, take all your calls here at 248-539-9797. Again, we have special discounts if you're a first-time responder anywhere in the area of Michigan. If you're listening to this show, we can have additional discounts. I think it's $750 off your closing costs. Definitely call Capital Mortgage Funding at 1-800-LOW-RATE. Find out all the details about it. We'll definitely save you some money for all your hard work. Hey, it's really exciting to buy a house, and like we always talk about, home ownership's terrific. It's such a great way to create wealth. It's sort of the first step that families take when they want to create wealth. And, of course, we've had that opportunity where we see the families that have bought houses, Roseanne, in the last 5 to 6 years. They have a tremendous amount of equity built up. And now they've got that opportunity, whether to take the equity out and maybe improve the home, or maybe consider selling the house.
Yes.
And stepping it up for the families as their families are growing.
Yes. It's actually a very great opportunity to do that. I have a couple clients right now. One in particular, they had purchased a home back in probably 2012, got it for a great price. We just got them into a fabulous home. They rolled over their equity. They got a new mortgage, and they really made a nice investment. They made some money off of their home. They have some money to invest in the new home, and they're able to take that second step. No longer first-time home buyers. They're getting married, going to have children. It's really exciting.
It is. That's how you start everything off. Definitely. Sometimes it's timing. You never know, because we did have the housing debacle. Of course, so many families were pulling all the equity out of their house from 2002 to 2007, and then the housing crash and unemployment kicks up, and now people are out of work, and the automotive industry looked very, very in trouble. But everything changed. So sometimes it's about timing, and you might have just been lucky enough to repurchase a house, like we said, in 2009, 10, 11, or 12. And those homes are in the last 5 to 7 years, and those homes have really gone up in value. Hey, somehow 5 to 7 million people are able to prepare and become homeowners each year. So it's a humongous amount of people, and there's no doubt a lot of attention to details. And that's one of the things we always talk about is the attention to details, is making sure you have your ducks in a row. So if you're just thinking about home ownership getting into the spring, Lou, you definitely want to at least start now and take a look at your credit. Make sure your credit's all intact. If you know you had some credit problems in the past and you're starting to get the nudge from the missus, hey, look, we got to become homeowners. Yeah, get out from underneath that shadow and go ahead and find out what your credit looks like.
Yeah, that's what I usually tell people. I usually give Julie's card, tell them to give Julie a call. If your credit's there, that's great. If not, she'll tell you how to get it there and work with them to get them ready to buy a house.
Yeah,
Correct.
that's a great point.
Yeah,
Julie.
that's actually one of the things that we do specialize in, and it is very important to obviously have your credit and all your ducks in a row. One of the things that I take into consideration is making certain upfront. It starts from us as a loan officer on the front end, making certain that they are prepared. And when people do see our pre-approvals from Capital Mortgage Funding, they know that it's not a guarantee, obviously, until you get to the bottom line. But you definitely want to have all your ducks in a row. And I feel that with the credit issues, we tackle those fairly well. And as far as the follow-up, getting back to Lou or even the agents, they definitely know where they're sitting when they get a pre-approval.
But Jules, it's like this. If people have certain blemishes on their credit report, everybody, those line items, they just can't be fixed with making a phone call or paying somebody $500, $750 in a credit repair service.
Right.
Okay, these are things that have to be taken care of over time. The best way to go ahead and get somebody's credit score up is to identify what's owed, pull the credit report, identify what's owed, and see if they can make arrangements to pay it back. And then every month, if they make payments on time, that will lift the credit score.
Right.
If you have something on there, everybody out there, don't drive off the road when I'm talking about this, okay? You can't make a call, and if you owe $5,000 on that collection account, it's not going away. So you have to make calls, you have to make arrangements, so we can help do that for you, and then counsel and advise you over a period of time. Now, the question becomes, is how many points do you need to increase that score to qualify for that loan you're looking for? We can answer all those questions. So that's what we're there for.
Yeah, we have mortgage programs. Actually, if you're 580 and above, we might have a mortgage program for you. It's all based on your situation. Again, what are you working with? Your debt-to-income ratio. There's many factors that go into a transaction, making sure that you're approved and you're a successful homeowner. Just remember to do all that due diligence. Get that team together. And when I was thinking about it last night, it's really, I don't even know where the year is going already, but it's tax season. Here we are in the middle of tax season. A lot of you out there might consider using that tax refund to purchase a house. But more importantly, you have to file your tax return, because all the mortgage lenders across the United States, they have to get a transcript. They got to get a copy of that transcript. So if you're going to be using your 2018 tax returns, hurry up and go see that CPA today, that accountant, whoever's your tax advisor. Definitely get moving on it. File electronically. Get documentation to support that you've already filed your tax return, because if you're in the middle of home ownership and you are using those 2018 tax returns, you definitely have to get those filed. And then so often, Julie, we see it for a lot of the self-employed borrowers. Yeah. Sometimes we could just use one-year tax returns. And if we are going to use your one-year tax returns, those 18s, because that's the
crucial.
year. Yeah,
yes,
that's crucial,
yes.
Especially if that's the year you showed all your money. If you didn't make any money in 17 and we need to show your 18s, you got to get those tax returns filed.
One of the things you never want to be waiting on funds to close. That's one thing you don't want to. You want to have those funds up front. So us as loan officers, we definitely want to educate the buyers and make certain that we are prepared to get to the closing table.
Well, you do the transaction backwards, don't you? If you go ahead and you're looking to buy a house and the house is $150,000, okay, and you're going to put 10% down, that's $15,000, right? And closing costs and taxes and the escrow accounts and all those fancy words that we say all the time, you got to figure you're going to need another, $5,000, okay? Sure. So that's 15 plus the 5 is 20. So if you look in your bank account and you've got $17,500, you better.
We're a little short.
You might be a little short on the entire transaction.
But that's where we can educate them and ask them, hey, do you have the option of gift funds? Is there other opportunities as far as pulling from a 401k?
Right. So if you do the math backwards,
right?
Okay, you might be able to come to that solution pretty quick, and then you know how much money you have to save up, or you could save in your 2, 3, 4 next 2, 3, 4 paychecks. And there's nothing wrong with saving up for money. There's nothing wrong with getting gift funds, but those are the answers that we can provide.
Well, a couple great points are made in those statements. And Roseanne, you see it as sellers' concessions, as easy as they are to get, not in today's market when you're going to be bidding against so many different offers. So if you already have an FHA offer, for example, it's very difficult, and there's going to be concessions. You're not going to be able to get those concessions if there's conventional offers and cash offers you're bidding against.
That is absolutely correct. It is a little difficult in a competitive market to get concessions from a seller now, and that's where some of the down payment assistance programs that you guys offer have really been beneficial, especially in a first-time home buyer market. To look at all of the down payment assistance programs that are out there, that's been very helpful because it is a little difficult getting. It's all a net figure to the seller. And, the concessions kind of make it a little more difficult.
Yeah, a lot of times we can show people how to get into housing by just using maybe a down payment assistance program. Of course, the MSHDA program, $7,500 still left on the table if you do qualify. There's different qualifications. You got to have 640 or more credit. Not too much money in the bank, less than $10,000. And again, there are some income limits on those. So definitely call Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. We'll talk to you all about it, show you what kind of programs you qualify for. That music says we're up against a quick break. 248-539-9797. We'll be right back. Alrighty, welcome back to the show. It's 9:30. You're listening to the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show. Yeah, just for another 30 minutes or so. Now we're going to have Pat Caputo coming in with sports all day long here on 97.1 The Ticket. Keep it here. Lots of great stuff. We got about another 30 minutes or so. We take your calls, 248-539-9797. We brought in Kyle Lang from RE/MAX Dream Properties. Of course, they got the Northville, South Line, Livonia office. He works anywhere in Southeast Michigan. I'm really enjoying all our conversations. If there's someone in the office just like you, can you introduce them to me? Because I'd like to.
There's only one me.
There's only one of you.
Oh, boy.
Okay, so we'll go. In that case.
Boy, I bet your mom and dad are happy about that.
I met his younger brother last weekend. There's two of them.
Oh, there is two of them. Hey, let's roll out to William out in Richmond, remodeling to improve value of your house. William, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Hey, how you guys doing this morning?
Really good. Thanks for calling in. What's happening?
Sure. So my question for you is, I have an older home, about 130 years old. I still have a lot of like a log that has joists in my basement. And we have a company coming in a couple weeks. We're doing we're basically replacing all the foundation, all the joists, load-bearing beams, footers, all that's getting redone.
Yeah.
My question for you is, obviously that has to be done because it's an old home, but what does that do for value? If it does anything for value, or do I just have to get it done to get it done?
I mean, it's going to keep the house going. I mean, I don't think adding new, beams and foundation and joists are going to really add anything as like sellers coming in and saying, hey, this is an upgrade. It's like a new roof, right? You already have a roof. Put a new roof on.
They expect that when you buy a house.
I mean, it's going to help sell, right? It's going to be a great selling feature that is going to help say, hey, this house has more durability because of what we've done. It's not going to fall apart on you. So I think, yes, you have to do it. It's going to help you sell when you're ready, but I don't think it's going to add a ton of value.
Any certain value.
Okay, I was just curious. I figured that was the case with it.
Hey, Bill, William, are you're gonna stay there? Obviously, you're doing the improvements because you're staying in the home for a while, right?
Yeah. We're not planning on going anywhere anytime soon. We're doing basically a full remodel through the entire house. I just have to do this before I can move forward with anything else.
Just curious, what type of dollar are you looking at to complete the foundation, the joists, and all that? What is it?
$18,000.
Yep.
I'm doing the electrical and the HVAC myself.
All right, welcome back to the show, 9:29. If you're just joining us, it's the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show by Capital Mortgage. Give us a call, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker, always live in the studio at 248-539-9797. Again, just at the end of the break, they were talking about the MSHDA program. Again, the $15,000 Step Forward program, that's all gone. The money's gone in that. But $7,500 is out there for you. A MSHDA program is a quiet second mortgage. You got to keep that quiet second mortgage for 5 years, and then you don't have to repay it back. Wow, could you imagine the state of Michigan forks over $7,500 for your purchase? It's pretty easy.
Let me correct you there, Harvey.
Oh, did I say something wrong?
On the $7,500, you do have to repay that one.
Oh, okay. So
yes, it is a second lien
I
on
was
the
looking
home.
for that $7,500 in the mailbox.
We'll get a bunch of calls tomorrow.
You do have to pay that back.
Oh, okay. You are paying that back. All right. What do I know?
But that MSHDA program is based on income, assets, credit, and definitely want to have everybody prepared.
Income,
assets, and credit. Yes.
Okay. Good stuff.
But it does have to be repaid.
And there are some other of these down system payment programs across our region. Again, you can find out. I know there's some. Peter Zook in our office knows of a couple other ones, and sometimes a family will fit into something they didn't even know about. So, hey, I don't know about them all either. 248-539-9797. We definitely want to hear from you. Roseanne, you were talking about a couple different things about your office, and I want to hear more because you guys opened up a new location.
We did. Our main office is in Brownstown, right at West and Telegraph, and we have a satellite office right in downtown Rockwood on Huron River Drive, just east of 75. And the reason why I decided to open an office in downtown Rockwood is because Rockwood is a wonderful little place in southeast Michigan that not a lot of people seem to understand all of the things that are down there. I mean, we have Lake Erie Metro Park, which is an absolutely gorgeous metro park. You drive 10 minutes and it is like you are up north. A Lake Erie golf course, the wave pool, hiking trails, marinas. It's a big boating area, and the housing values have remained strong. It's just a wonderful neighborhood community, and we're really excited to be there because it is a local community, and we're a local company. And so we're just really excited about it. We've only been open there a couple months. We've had really good reception since we've been there. So feel free to stop by the office. Yeah. We are right off of Huron River Drive, 22440. North Huron River Drive.
Yeah, you guys make it a lot of fun to own a house, and there's no doubt Lake Erie's got some of the best eating. I mean, here we are in Michigan, the Great Lakes, some of the best eating fish in the world. You tell anybody the perch and the walleye that are coming out of Lake Erie, it's a fisherman's haven.
Delicious.
So there's no doubt about that. It's just a great area. One of the things is about some seller's advice, and as you meet your sellers talking about selling their home, it's sometimes a tough conversation, but I find it when I get an appraisal back, and whether it be an FHA or conventional, and there's peeling paint all over the house, and all sorts of things. Handrails aren't up. The basic stuff that automatically indicates to lenders, it indicates to really the professionals in the industry that this house wasn't properly set up, and that listing agents sometimes don't do their job because they don't want to tell the seller that hard news, that hard advice. That, hey, we need to fix this up a little bit, and you'll get more money out of your house. Explain that a little bit. That tough love.
That can be a little difficult at times, but it's really all about the presentation. If as a listing agent, your job is really, your primary role is really to get the seller the most amount of money for their home. So if they understand by doing these cosmetic repairs, again, not spending $30,000 or anything like that, but buyers do notice things. And then you also have to pass the city certification.
Okay, a lot of cities have the city certs, right?
Absolutely. So that's something that we need to take into account. And it's all in the delivery as far as the seller goes.
You know, now this time of year, Lou, and I'll let you jump in, there's no doubt you pull, it's just starting to get better, right? Yeah. But the grass is all mushy, and you get the salt and the dirt. And that heavy rain the other day did clean up some of this stuff. Yeah. But it's not the prettiest right now, not until the flowers and the trees start blooming. So definitely now is a time where at least get that front door, and clean up. I mean, if it's nicer today or tomorrow or this week, start picking up around your house. Start making these small changes. Do what you can on the outside, the front door, and then work your way into the house. And maybe have that agent come in there and let's really point some things out that could be tidied up, whether it be a fresh coat of paint or a handrail or screw in a knob or put some knobs back together. There's always some fix up that a house could really, you probably need a second opinion on this.
You really do. And the other thing to think about, even if you're considering selling your home but not ready to put it on the market this month, it's a good idea to have your agent come through, do a walkthrough, so you have time to get these things done, so you have a punch list to work off of.
Yeah, setting up the plan and expectations when you're sitting with buyers or sellers. Right. I think it's all about the expectations and then the details and then making it all come together, because when it all comes together and families are closing, usually nowadays between 25 and 35 days in that ballpark, most transactions seem as if they go about that time frame. But it's really fun and exciting. And that's one of the reasons why I'm still able to do this after 28 years, is just going to the closings. It's still just as much fun as it was when I first started the transaction.
I have my first tough question because I let it slide for 34 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Okay.
So, Roseanne and Joe, here's the first tough question of the day for you. Is there, or why is there still a stigma when we go ahead and we say somebody's approved for an FHA transaction? Okay, I've been doing real estate for a very, very long time. Now, this isn't back in the 80s, in the 70s, where there were all these requirements. Everybody needed to purchase FHA. The loan limits were lower, and there was a stigma attached to it. Now, FHA money, when we write a check, whether it's conforming conventional, whether it's a Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac loan or a Ginnie Mae pooled loan, that's FHA, right? Is there still that stigma out there? Because we still get calls every single day from the realtor community saying, oh, we don't want to go FHA on this loan. And my standard response is, what do you mean? What do you care for where I'm writing the check from? Which pool of funds I'm going to go ahead and fund from? Now, I'm going to let you answer that question.
Okay.
And the inspection issue are only health and safety issues, whether it's a handrail, a step, breaking up cement. Why wouldn't you want that house to be shown properly and have that stuff fixed? So first question is there still a stigma with FHA in the realtor community?
Well, I think it depends on the realtor, because I personally don't believe there's a stigma with FHA at all. And going back to the actual qualification, it's the quality of the lender who is writing the FHA mortgage. So it's all in the delivery to your seller when you are presenting the offer, just to educate them a little bit about what an FHA mortgage does and just the little extra step of the safety. But again, with most city certifications, you have that anyways.
That's
with
right.
regards to that. So it's pretty much the same thing.
So when you're listing a house, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I did. It goes like this: when you're listing a house, and you're walking through the house, and there's no handrail going up the stairs or down the stairs.
Make a comment.
When there's no, a broken step leading up the porch, or the driveway is cracked, major league cracks. Okay, why wouldn't you
address it?
Yeah,
address
why
it.
wouldn't you tell that seller, hey, listen, this is going to be a problem no matter what?
Again, that goes to experience of the agent, because you have to educate your seller, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with an FHA offer with regards to the competition of the offer. If the price is good, you got a great lender like Capital Mortgage Funding. I would much rather take an FHA offer from Capital Mortgage Funding than a conventional offer from a
out-of-state lender.
Out-of-state lender. I mean, an out-of-state lender who promises anything. And I'm very honest with my sellers about that it does boil down to the lender.
Yeah, we like the local lenders. Why not?
Absolutely.
I mean, you got to have local
And
representation.
One of the things, Harvey, one of the things is when I get an FHA offer or a purchase agreement that comes in FHA, I ask, hey, is there anything that we need to be, alarmed by, or is anything that you need to address based on appraisal issues?
Yes.
So if we address it up front, discuss it, open the lines of communication, I think that's crucial. And sometimes they will give you a little bit of indication. And then when the appraiser goes out there, if there is, repairs that need to be done, we'll address those at the time.
That's a great point, Julie. We had some rough weather the other day with the winds and everything. It's going to be a whole bunch of shingles off your roof. You got to get those back on. So just some basic things. And lenders like us, I mean, I go to homes. So I have a good group of real estate agents that put a lot of trust in me. And they'll say, hey, Harvey, can you meet us out the house? An extra set of eyes. I mean, I've closed as many FHAs as most loan officers. So an extra set of eyes gives us that opportunity to say, hey, look, those are soiled stairs going down the steps. Let's remove that carpet. And it's not a lot of money to get that house back up to where you might be able to get that $1,000 or $2,000.
It really isn't.
Back into it.
GFI plugs. I mean, come on, you got to have
simple.
And those are minor.
You have to have covers on your electrical outlets.
Really?
I mean, yeah, right. Right. Okay.
Okay. Hey, don't worry. I'm getting all sorts of love here. That
You
Harvey,
are?
your Mr. loan is you don't have to pay it back after 5 years. Maybe I was. I'm not bringing
no,
it up.
that's on the 15,000.
That was on the
Hey,
15,000.
That's on the Step Forward program.
A little talk right here. We're getting some ticket text, but hey, just want to tell the ticket texters, give us a call, Capital Mortgage Funding. You can call us there at the office, leave a message for me. I'll return the call and follow up with you all weekend long again. If you're ticket texting us at 97136. Just a couple conversations that we'd want to get into.
There we go.
Are they sending love?
They're sending a little love.
your way.
Nothing
Yeah, a lot
bad.
of love.
All good stuff. Hey guys, real estate agents, definitely Roseanne and Lou. It's nice to have you guys here. But all these houses, I mean, 80% of them are over 20 years old, and I think it's 50% are over 50 years old. Harry, we throw that out there, the inspections. But yeah, this time of year, sometimes having that real heavy rain, you can get an idea of what that water could cause.
Basements.
Yeah, whether it be a basement, or I've had homes where I had to put drain tiles in. And I just drove down the street this morning, and a couple of the yards had a lot of water in them. So then now's the time. It doesn't mean you don't buy that house. You might just have to bring in a lot of dirt. We've done it at the office where some low level,
Right.
The ground sinks in certain areas. A lot of times it doesn't take a lot of money. So it's better to be informed on how to fix something and what those costs are. That's where I think your expertise and knowledge and your experience really comes into play.
Yeah, we advise people when we walk through the house. The basements are an issue in the entire southeastern Michigan area, really.
Yeah.
Just due to the age on a lot of them, or even the newer builds, you have rod hole problems, things like that. But the biggest thing for buyers to understand is that this is not a scary thing, and there's no reason to freak out about it. That everything has a remedy. And if you all work together to get the remedy fixed, then you are good to go. The key is with any seller is to properly disclose any issues that you have, and with any buyers to keep an open mind on any remedies and most of the time they're pretty simple. Others can be pretty expensive.
Yep, 248-539-9797. We're up against a small little break here. When we come back, we definitely want to hear from some of you. 248-539-9797. Tons to share with you. We're going to talk about knowledge and building your confidence right when we come back. Keep it here on 97.1 The Ticket. Welcome back to the show, 9:45. It's the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. All day long, you can find us at the office at 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. A whole bunch of us are headed out to the Cottage and Lakefront Living Show. That's out at the Suburban Showcase out there in Novi. Really fun stuff. John, there's a boat show there. Can I keep you in the booth?
Oh,
you're going to be shopping for boats and stuff.
Becky will be out there. Becky Alley from our office. Go see the gorgeous Becky Alley.
There you go.
She'll be out there at 10 a.m. And then Harvey and I will be there from 1 to 5. Come see us. Say hi.
Not so gorgeous, but loud. We'll be there.
Oh, we're not gorgeous. We're hard to look at. That's why we're on the radio.
That's good.
Yeah, faces for radio, gentlemen.
But it's also about second homes, Harry, too, which is fun stuff. Vacation homes and second homes. It's a really fun show.
Listen, up north in the Lower Peninsula and the Northern Peninsula of Michigan with all the lakes, you could not find a better place to have a second home. People go up north. We talk about, here we use the term, where are you going for the weekend? We're going up north. Up north. That's what we do.
And no one ever asks where up north is.
We know, up north. Yeah, where are you going up north? Okay, that's how we talk around here because it's such a big part of our, growing up and our lexicon and just our lifestyle. So we're exhibiting at the show. And I think we're going to meet a lot of people out there. It's going to be fun. There's a lot of other exhibitors out there. Come out and check us out. It's at the Suburban. Is that where it's at?
Yeah, they call it the Suburban Showcase out there collection.
Yeah.
And
what do I know? I just know how to get there.
It's a big building. What's also cool about it is, and you see this with a lot of situations, is, when you buy a second home, John, not your family necessarily, but more and more families, they do rent them out on occasion. So it could be a second home with your family and you're buying it as a vacation home. 10% down is all that's required. And then you might find that you rent it to friends or family. And this is what people do in the future. And again, if you buy the right property, whether it have some lake privileges or just in the right area where you can.
Right on the corner. Remember, you can drive a car or you can drive a Cadillac. Hey guys, I'm here with Detroit Lions star punter Sam Martin. Sam, it's been a few months since you got your procedure from Dr. Berkowitz and Michigan Hair Restoration, and you've got a full head of hair over there.
You're right. I do have a full head of hair, and I love the results. The procedure was quick and easy, and I'm happy I chose Dr. B.
What's the one thing that you would tell anyone that's listening today?
Guys, if your hair is thinning or you have questions on a procedure like I did, go with the pros. Dr. B and Michigan Hair Restoration. I wouldn't trust my hair with anyone else.
Call 844-1HAIR and mention punter for 0% financing and guaranteed results. One call to Dr. Berkowitz and Michigan Hair Restoration can change your life. Call Michigan's #1 hair restoration specialist at 844-1HAIR or visit drb4hair.com for 0% financing and guaranteed results. That's drb4hair.com or call 844-1HAIR. Michigan Hair Restoration is a proud partner of the Detroit Lions.
The Detroit Red Wings host the New York Islanders at Little Caesars Arena today at 1. And 97.1 The Ticket Street Team will be there before the game. Pat Caputo broadcasts live starting at 10 a.m. Brought to you by the Michigan Lottery's $5 full of 500s $5 instant game. Win up to 15 times. There's fun in every one. Get your seats now. Call 313-471-7575 or visit DetroitRedWings.com for your tickets to any Red Wings home game. Get more at 97.1theticket.com.
The Detroit Pistons host the Toronto Raptors. Pre-game tomorrow afternoon at 3:35 on 97.1 The Ticket.
Welcome back to the show, 9:45 if you're just joining us. Yeah, I get some funny ticket texts here. Hey, it's the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show brought to you by Capital Mortgage Fund. And give us a call at Capital, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker.
Got people texting, emailing. It's going crazy right now. Shout out to Darren Keogh. Darren, I've said your name on the radio. You're from Livonia. I'm checking it out for you, buddy.
Good.
The guy listens every week.
We're here to help you. We're here to help you save money, make your process smooth and easy and hassle-free.
That's because he loves you.
All right, definitely want to, you know what I did mention today, of course, cash out refinancing. As we talked all about purchases this morning, we'll dive right back into real estate talk. It's a great opportunity. Again, had you bought a house recently, you probably have some built-in equity. Find out how you can save money. We can run the numbers for you. Again, pull the equity out of your house, maybe consolidate a first and a second mortgage, but paying off that toxic debt, that holiday debt on your credit cards, those are 18 to 25%. Get rid of those. Of course, the mortgage is still a tax deduction up to $750,000. And Roseanne, Willow Realty Group, you guys, again, you're located, you got a couple of these offices. Where you at?
We do. We have one in Brownstown, right at Weston Telegraph, and we have one in Rockwood on Huron River Drive, just east of I-75.
They're in the DR, man.
Isn't it fun just to have, and it's fun just to have some of the local people come into the office. If you want to check out what your home is worth, there's nothing wrong with stopping to the real estate office. Get to know a couple of your local real estate agents. That's really when you go to sell your house, or if you find out one of your neighbors or your friend, your family, they want to move to your area. Why not build a relationship with a local real estate agent? I think it's a great start. Find out a little bit more about the community.
Using local is so important, in my opinion, especially with the all the online avenues out there. But our office in general, we are one of the few offices that strive to stay open 7 days a week, and even on the evenings, and people appreciate that.
The availability is definitely a plus. You know, as loan officers, Sunday through Saturday or 7 days a week, 9 to 9, I generally tell my clients, and they're like, "You're exhausting me." But you know what? Realistically, that's what I truly believe is customer service and helping that client get to what they obviously, there's needs, there's wants, and being the first to answer the phone or the first to respond to that client is so crucial.
I actually think if you're not good at anything at all, be good at answering the phone, Definitely answer the phone. Give somebody quick answers.
You get a lot of people that work days and they can only look at houses in the evening, so you have to be there for them. You have to work their schedule.
We work retail hours. You know when they are? All day long, all night long when people are available. That's just the way it works.
Love talking mortgages at midnight. Why not? If you're up, I'm talking real estate, I'm talking mortgages. It makes it a lot of fun. Julie, you mentioned something pretty interesting as we were talking about older homes and stuff. We were talking about some rain and water issues. But flood insurance, you ran into a situation where we were able to actually call the current seller's flood insurance company, and then we took application, our clients took application with them and got a really inexpensive flood insurance if you're in that situation.
That is correct. I recently had a buyer that actually was categorized into a flood insurance situation, and one of the things that I advised them was to connect with the seller, find out who their insurance carrier is, get in contact with them. They definitely have to be approved. But what actually saved them and benefited them was they were able to assume that flood insurance policy. And they were so ecstatic, they didn't know that. So number one, obviously helping the customer. Number two, saving money. And number three, a happy client.
All right, I'll take all of those. That's a great way. And so, of course, saving money on a transaction. It gives you more money to keep in your pocket for some other home improvements, whatever you need to fix up on that house. Again, 248-539-9797. You want to sneak a phone call in? Harry, you got probably like 1,000 shout-outs or anything?
No.
Come on, Harry.
No, I'm just pleased that the market is the way it is. I mean, you're talking about the market is approaching early on into the, we say, spring's home buying season. No, anytime is home buying season. Right now, the market is very strong. You're seeing an increase in the activity. Of course, in Michigan, when the weather starts getting nicer, you see more foot traffic. People are they're going to list their house. They don't want people coming in the bad weather. Okay, that's fine. But if you can get a head start on looking, identify the neighborhoods and the areas that you want to be in. And then when that sign goes up, or maybe you're working with a realtor and they're going to have some inside information for you. Right, Roseanne? I mean, you're going to have some insight. Maybe there's a listing. In the old days, we call the what, Harvey?
The old pocket listing.
The old pocket listing.
Right, the old pocket listing. Maybe somebody knows something. All right, and if you're not on the inside, then you're on the outside, and it's a little too late at that point in time. So right now, get your head start. People are out there now looking for the areas that you want to be in, and when that house hits, you got to be ready to go.
Yeah, definitely got to be ready to go. Purchasing a home, the down payments are still very, very low. And that's one of the things I think that often young first-time home buyers, when they finally sit down and we go over the numbers, they say, hey, I can do that. I have $9,000. I have $10,000. I'm working with enough money here to buy my first house. So I think that's one of the things, and I asked this last week to the agents were, I said, what could you tell me? Something out there that buyers or sellers need to know. And there's always a few different of these items out there. But one is that I think buyers are always shocked when they say, wow, Harvey, that's not a whole lot of money. A combination of what I've already saved. I got some money in my 401k and I'm getting a tax refund. I can become a homeowner. And then they're so shocked when they see, wow, this is a lot less than renting. And of course, renting, all you're doing is paying your landlord's mortgage. So isn't it nice when you get those first-time home buyers in there and you find out that really their house payment's less than what they've been renting for?
And we educate the client all the time in that. And they're actually very surprised that they are able to come to the closing table with less money than a security deposit, first month's rent, and it costs you absolutely nothing to set up a free consultation to either purchase a home or to list your home for sale. And that's the first step in getting the process started. And a lot of people just don't understand how it works. So that's what we're here for, to educate you.
Yeah, and again, you don't pay if you're a buyer, you don't have to pay commissions. The
Nope,
sellers
you
are
do
paying
not.
commissions typically. Now, if you
Right.
sign the wrong contract, you can get yourself in a little bit of trouble.
Yep, you sure
but
can.
typically, 99.9% of the time, or maybe even more than that,
Yep.
again, you don't pay a commission as a buyer, just as when you're selling the house. So that's how that's all set up. A bit of decline on Wall Street over the last few days. The bond market gained a little bit of ground, and rates are, of course, on the lower side of the last 12 months. So maybe a little window of opportunity here before the Fed starts changing things. Of course, there's going to be a whole bunch of Fed meetings on 2019 moving forward. But the average homeowner saw an 8.1 increase in their homes over the last year or so. So that was the average. And again, depending upon where you're at.
We've seen it. Yeah, we have certainly seen that increase.
And again, if with all that equity in there, whether you want to do a cash out refinance, you might be able to refinance your mortgage. Even though you have a great interest rate, you might be paying MIP, mortgage insurance premium, on an FHA loan, or you might even be paying PMI on a conventional loan. And with all the appreciation in the last couple of years, you never know what's going on. So what's really nice, I always think, stay in touch with your real estate agents for several different reasons, but always to know what's going on in the marketplace, because as you start getting your homes reassessed, you might need to reach out to that real estate agent you were working with just a year or two ago, or if you just moved to a community, maybe find out who the experts are in that community, because you might have to go fight an SEV, a
And
steady
use a
light.
local.
Yeah, use the right
Yes.
people. So keep those property taxes down. I know a lot of the folks are going to be reassessed, and we've seen these are pretty dramatic changes. If you bought a house from somebody where the people living there, the grandmother had lived there for 25 or 40 years, yeah, when you get reassessed, there's going to be a big difference, and they uncap those property taxes, and you have to be prepared for that.
Harry, that's a great point. People have to understand that the taxes are the taxes. All right, we don't control it. The realtors don't control the taxes. The mortgage people don't control the taxes. Taxes most likely are going to go up during your life of the home, okay? So when you set up that escrow account, and even if you don't set up an escrow account, your tax payments and your insurance could go up. If you're in a fixed rate mortgage, your principal and interest portion of that payment will never go up as long as it's a fixed rate and you see the terms. Make sure you sign the proper notes. But your taxes, you're going to get notices throughout the life of that loan, that house that you live in. The taxes are going to go up. You cannot be surprised by that. Okay,
but that generally means that their value is increasing as well.
Of course.
Yeah,
That's why
right.
the taxes go up because their
That's
value
right.
has
Because the
gone up.
value's gone up.
Absolutely.
Now, so at this point in time of the year, it's a little late right now, but how do you fight your taxes? If you want to fight your tax bill, you have to get an appraisal. It's great that you guys can go ahead and do a property value, but
market analysis.
Market analysis is not the same as an appraised value. Okay, you hire an independent appraiser. They go out and they do an appraised value, and then you go ahead, you take it into your municipality.
You got it.
And
3 times.
Easy
say
to
that
say.
10
3
times.
times.
Muni.
And go in there and you can fight it. All right, but that's what happens.
All right. Hey, that was it. Would you believe it?
Wow.
1 hour's worth, guys. You want to go another hour?
Let's go.
We'll stay.
We are going to have Pat Caputo coming up with sports, so keep it here on
you guys. Really
97.1.
appreciate
We want
it.
to
Thank
thank
you.
Willow Realty Group.
Thanks
you guys
for
are
having
great.
us. This was a lot of fun.
Oh, cool. We'll have you back.
Thanks for
Roseanne and
coming.
Lou, you guys
Thank
make
you.
it fun to own a home. Again, if you
Thanks,
want to
Jules.
purchase, call these guys at Willow Realty Group. They
Thank
get you
you.
set up with us at Capital Mortgage Funding. Get that strong approval letter and become a successful homeowner. That's about it. Keep it here on 97.1 The Ticket. For Julie Salmons, for Harry Glanz, I'm Harvey Freed. Keep it here on 97.1 The Ticket.
Hi, Harry Glanz and Danberg for Capital Mortgage Funding. We do loans everywhere. In Southfield, in Birmingham, in Royal Oak, in Groseal, in Detroit, in Canton, in Northville. No matter where you live, we want to do your mortgage too. That's Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker.